Okay, so Davos II in A Storm of Swords. Man, I really enjoy rereading these chapters with you, dear listener. He's been he's been at sea for a number of days after being rescued from that rock in the middle of Blackwater Bay by the captain of a Lycian ship in the employ of none other than Salvador San. What are the odds of that, right? And the captain's name is Horan, from which we learn that the Lycene tend to add like a random letter H to their given names. Salvador, Horan, I guess that makes those consonants, what's the term? Aspired? Horan. And he's so honored to have the famous Onion Knight on board that he lets him have his own cabin. You know, this is already the second instance of that. The first instance being when Captain Groleo, who's such a simp for Daenerys, Captain Groleo lets Daenerys have his own quarters on their way to Astapor. Go back to that chapter if you're interested in that rereading. Anyway, so at this point, Davos can see Dragonstone from afar. So he's been at sea for a number of days, and he's had a lot of time to ponder, and now he's harboring, no pun intended, he's harboring murderous thoughts. Because in the course of his pondering, he's found the scapegoat for everything that's gone wrong in his life in the current, tax year, and he's come to the conclusion that he has to kill Melisandre. There, I said it. Unless, of course, there's more than one way to interpret the following quote: "I will cut out her heart from her living breast and see how it burns. Ha!" Which, incidentally, the burning heart is actually the sigil, the new sigil adopted by Stannis under pressure, presumably, or counsel from the very same Melisandre. Yeah, I don't think that's a metaphor anyway. No, he really means it, because you see, he blames her for the fires that burned his sons on the Blackwater that fateful day, even though the Red Lady, the Red Priestess, wasn't even there at the time, and he also gets these two types of fire mixed up. The on the one hand, the pyromancer's wildfire, which is man-made, artificial, almost nothing religious about that, although some magic is kind of involved. More on that later. And he's confusing that wildfire with the genuine sort of flames of the so-called Lord of Light, which are supposedly divine, if those religious fanatics are to be believed. So that's a common mistake, actually, because wildfire is often used to simulate Rahollor's, whatever you call them, blessings, fire blessings, setting your sword on fire, as a party trick, to pretend you are Azor Ahai reborn. Both Thoros of Myr and Stannis have performed that trick at parties. So anyway, Melisandre wasn't there, even though, don't get me wrong, she has a lot to answer for. The latest endeavor being burning Lord Gunser Sunglass alive. Who's Lord Gunser Sunglass? Lord Sunglass, we learn in this chapter that he's gone. He's just crossed off the list of characters. It was burned alive, casually, for nothing other than being too devoted to the faith of the Seven, to the point that he was overheard saying that they could no longer find it in his heart to support Stannis, this blasphemous guy who is now burning, ancient antiquities. What do you call antiques? Antiques, such as those the wooden statues of the seven gods on Dragonstone, Anyway, so from Horen, I really don't know how to pronounce these Lycee names. Davos learns that Lord Florent, this is Alistair Florent, he's been made Hand of the King, partly facilitated by the fact that he's one of the Queen's men. In fact, he's one of her uncles. So there, that's a case of nepotism right there. Or to be more precise, I guess I should say avuncularism, I suppose. I'm so smart today. And once again, we hear the story of Renly's ghost, spotted fighting in the Blackwater battle. You know, you could easily recognize Renly by the antlers on his helmet. For who else could he possibly be, right? I mean, no one could possibly don such a helmet. And by now, that story of Renly's ghost fighting in the battle, by now we have already heard it like 3 times, I think. This is the 3rd time. So that's kind of like George R. Martin's way of reminding us that this is an item we should keep in the back of our minds. Will it pay off? Who knows? So when it does eventually pay off, readers tend to be a bit underwhelmed. They tend to go, huh? Oh, okay. Phew. And then they just get on with their lives. But anyway, no spoilers from me. I will only be looking back and not forward in this series, in the off chance that you, gentle listener, happen to be a first-time reader. So, shush. Right, so they finally reach the harbor, and it takes a keen linguist like yours truly, or should I say a just downright nerd, to notice that for all the archaic English expressions that Mr. Martin has created for this world, this universe, he has nonetheless chosen to adopt the American spelling of the word harbor, which, I don't know, I find interesting. It's a world where you don't get potatoes. Potatoes don't exist. So far, I haven't come across any potatoes. Sweet corn, the maize, not the corn that ravens are so fond of. The sweet corn and tomatoes. I haven't come across any tomatoes in all those food porn descriptions. So foods native to the American continent is not available in this universe so far, as I can tell. But somehow the spelling of words follows the Webster American Dictionary. Interesting. I'm sure the dear Martin didn't intend for that. Was that a typo? No, I doubt it. No, harbor. Anyway, all of this is so fascinating, isn't it? Yeah, this is why you're listening to this stuff, dear listener. Okay, all right. Let's get back on track. It's in this very harbor that Davos meets and embraces Salvador. And how have you been? And where have you been? Oh, hello, right. Ooh, we have so much to catch up over Cosmos. Still, you look pale and thin, my friend. All right, mate. Tell you what, you go aboard of this ship and grab yourself a drop of the old mulled wine and party like it's Christmas. Help yourself to cheese and olives. Salvador is very French when it comes to these snacks. Cheese and olives and maybe a little bit of the old pastis, a shot of the old Pernod, Ricard. It's very French, or maybe should I say continental. And he goes, sit there, eat, drink, wait for me, because you and I, mate, we got to talk. And talk we will. He's there in the harbor, counting, cargoes and stuff, as you do. This is now his life. This part of his career. We'll get into that later. So, yeah, because... all right, now let's move into that right now. As a reward for his contribution you see, to the Blackwater battle, he hasn't been given all the gold he was promised, because the coffers, Stannis' coffers are empty. What are you going to do? But he's been made sort of like a customs and revenues officer in those waters, meaning that he's allowed to seize ships that pass by without paying the toll or whatever. And in other words, his piracy sort of endeavors have sort of like been legitimized. He's happy. He's at least he's gotten something out of this whole enterprise. And so he's there. So Davos is there, having a bit of the old mulled wine, cloves, cinnamon, things like that. The spices such as those, which might not be very easy to come by, although somehow they have them in spades and on the wall. Do you remember Lord Commander Mormont? Is very specific about how he drinks his mulled wine. There's the right amount of honey, the right amount of maybe it's just for the high-ranking officers, I guess. The right amount of cloves, the right amount of and there's a bit of cinnamon and a bit of this and nutmeg powder and I enjoy a beer with a drop of with a slice of lime, or was it lemon? I guess he's drinking Corona or Sol. Anyway, enough of Lord Commander Mormont. Davos is there, sipping his wine and snacking on olives and cheese. And when Salah finally comes on board to join Davos and talk, we learn an interesting, unrelated piece of information. That is, that ship that they're on board right now is used to transport Magister Illyrium Patis from Pentos to King's Landing and back. So remember all those mysterious errands that he conducted in good old King's Landing with Varys in disguise? Yeah, well, that's the means of transportation that he used, called the Bountiful Harvest. Yeah, I got it written down there. I couldn't remember it off the top of my head. This, I don't know, might be useful later. As for related news, we find out that Davos's only surviving son out there is Devon, who is now out here in this part of the world anyway, and he's now Stannis' personal assistant, Stannis' PA. He takes shorthand notes and things like that. Serves coffee with salt. Doesn't Stannis? Okay, it's decided. I'm making it a thing. Today we're talking about drinks. Stannis favors water with a bit of salt. Does he have some kind of mineral deficiency? So I'm guessing, that every now and then he calls on Devon. Hey, Devon, the usual, and Devon just goes ahead and pours some spring water and adds a pinch of salt. Stannis must have a ridiculously high blood pressure, is what I think. Devon is Stannis' PA. We also learn that Lord Alistair, as Hand of the King. Now look at the phrasing, the wording of this. He fixes the letters Stannis writes. The letters written by Stannis are fixed by Mr. Alistair. I mean, this could be interpreted as, he just spell checks them. Maybe. Or maybe it could mean that he's sort of like, he takes some liberties with Stannis' directives, changes a word here and there. Who knows? This habit in the future, this habit might or might not get out of hand. No pun intended. Anyway, so more exposition. Stanislav, that's it. That's what I'm calling him now. Stanislav. He doesn't want to see anyone right now. He's secluded in his headquarters. He doesn't want to see anyone except, of course, for the Red Lady, Melisandre. So yeah, they're there, presumably the two of them, Meli and Stanislav, spending their afternoons on the couch, holding hands, popcorn in hand. Not the American sweet corn type maize. Holding hands, watching the flames of a sacred fire or something, the fire that she keeps burning there, I don't know, in the hearth or wherever, waiting for visions and whatnot, which visions, sent by the God of Light, the Lord of Light, whatever it's called, and doesn't sound all that exciting, if you ask me. And I can almost picture Stannis going, I kind of preferred it when we were conceiving shadow babies, engaging in a bit of the old hanky-panky. You know what I'm saying? Doing the gesture, No, I suppose not. Stannis, no, okay, no, they probably wouldn't say that. It would be a bit out of character. No, he's there. He's probably like intently watching. I just see flames, for God's sake. I'm just wasting my time. No. Keep watching. It's gonna happen, dude. After you pop some shrooms, maybe just go, all right, yeah. This is awesome, dude, yeah. But no. Now they're probably watching those flames with like a clear mind, intently, and really in the flames you do see what you wish to see. Even though we will find out later that there is something to it. There is something to these flames. There is some kind of power. Okay, enough spoilers. Anyway, this at this point in the conversation with Salah, this is where Davos lets it slip that he's there to kill Melisandre, which, I don't know, is it a mistake? Gee, I don't know. Salador seems friendly and all, but perhaps, or maybe, here's the thing. Okay, it could be Salador, it could be that someone is eavesdropping. There are, spies everywhere in this series. Or maybe, could it be that blurting out this purpose to Salador, that is, getting Melisandre out of the equation, could this what ultimately saves Davos's life? I don't know. You'll be the judge of that. Let me know, dear listener. So anyway, Salah keeps saying, "Stick around. What do you think you're doing? Don't go looking for trouble, mate. You're coughing like a maniac. What do you got? Pneumonia or something? Stay here with me, and eventually I'll take you to your wife in Cape Wrath." Cape Wrath. Don't you just love this expression? It sounds like a great holiday destination. Cape Wrath. A weekend in Cape Wrath. But Davos will have none of that. Davos, as weak as he still is, he goes, no. All right. I must. I mustn't weaken my resolve. I heard it from the mother herself. Your mum's dead, mate. No. I mean the mother. The one of the seven. The mother. She said something along those lines. to which I concluded that I must kill Melisandre. They're spelled with an S. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Melisandre could have a Greek sort of root to its name. Ander is men, male human being. Ander, as in, misandry, or Alexander, yes, is the protector of men. So Melisandre, I'm not sure. Will you let me know, dear reader, dear listener? So Melissa, so okay, well look, and Salador is all cross. Oh, okay, all right. If you must go, you just go, right? Go, go. If you gotta go, go and commit suicide. See how much I care. And he acts all insulted. Well, Davos is all like, no, really, man, come on. We shouldn't part this way. Don't be like that. Come on. Let's kiss and make up. And the other one goes, go, go. And sniffs. You're gonna be dead, dude. Dead for killing her or dead for trying. So yeah, there's no way out of it for you. But surely the God preserved me for a reason. Yeah, this is what faith, does to you. Or just believing that everything happens for a reason. Yeah, well, okay, there might be something to that. I don't know. Anyway, that seems to be Davos's resolve. So he goes and but I don't want to go this way. Come on, give me a last smile. I can't just leave you like that. This is all very human. I love that. I love that part. It's a bit sad. So anyway, he goes to where to Dragonstone, and he reaches the castle gate, the entrance, wipes his feet on the doormat, knocks, as we would all do. But predictably, he gets the reply from the expected reply from some guy, some crossbowman. Hello, hello. How you doing? Yes, hi. Yeah, we're not buying anything. We're not interested. No. Hey, look, mate. Look. Hey, oi. This is the Onion Knight. Yeah, the Onion Knight. The Onion Knight is dead, mate. Yeah, no, but I just need to meet Stannis, you see. No. Stannis is at a board meeting. He won't see anyone. And this is kind of like the rejection that Davos sort of expected. So he goes, well, can I see my son Devon? No. Jade Blackberry? No. Lord Chittering? No. Lord Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? No. What about Hookface Will? Nope. Hal the Dog? Nope. Timmy the Tuba? Mikey Gaga? Joey Boombats? He just keeps name dropping like crazy. But see, all those guys are dead, by the way. They're dead as the Dead Sea. A Middle Eastern simile, if you've ever heard one. But that act, these name dropping seems to kind of do the trick. It seems to persuade the guard, who must think, okay, so maybe this fella does really know all those people. Maybe this fella really is who he says he is, i.e. the Onion Knight. So he goes, all right, just wait here a moment, and he goes and leaves. Eats, shoots, and leaves. And after a while, he returns, and he tells him to go around the back door. That's where we get our deliveries. Okay, so go around. He tells him to go to the Sally Port, whatever that is, and he's then ushered in by Florent men. This is Florent being, Queen Salice's family, as well, dear reader, listener. Well, yeah, reader and listener, obviously. So anyway, he goes, so he's there, Florent men. They escort him to Aegon's Garden. There's a place called Aegon's Garden on Dragonstone, which is an actual garden. So the whole place doesn't look as bleak and grim as that. It's got a garden, proper garden type place. So he's there, told to wait, and that's when he catches sight of Patchface, chased by Princess Shireen. They're playing this childish game. Now Patchface seems to spot Davos, and he immediately delivers one of his cryptic, nonsensical rhymes containing this line. Check this out. Chains for the guests. Which could be referred to Davos being put in chains real soon. I mean, okay, that's not a spoiler, right? I'm assuming you're here because you've read this chapter. No? Oh, well, okay. then stop listening and go read this chapter. That's the best advice I can give you. At least you made it this far. On the other hand, if you have made it this far, well, let's just keep on going. He will be in chains real soon. He will be put in a dungeon, Mr. Davos. So that could be a reference to him, but, and here comes the real, okay, I'll be careful now. Don't want to get into spoiler territory, but the full text, the full, the lyrics of this rhyme go something like this. Fool's blood, king's blood, blood on the maiden's thigh, but chains for the guests and chains for the bridegroom. Aye. Which, I mean, it's all there in black and white, okay? We've all read it. It's not a spoiler. If you interpret what it says, this seems to refer to a wedding where blood is spilled and guests are put in chains. Bah. Okay, I think I better shut up right now. So anyway, it turns out that this Aegon's Garden, incidentally, is where children play. Because there are children right now. There are, well, children-ish, kind of. So it's aptly named then. Aegon's Garden, play garden, whatever. What do you call it? Playground. Because there happen to be two adolescent teenagers in the whole castle. There's two of them. One of them is, of course, Stannis' daughter, Shireen, as well as Robert Baratheon's illegitimate son, Edric Storm, who used to be under the care of Storm's End's former castellan Courtney Penrose, and now that the latter has been dispatched by one of Melisandre's shadow assassin type entities, blokes, he's now been fostered with Team Stannis for reasons that will become clear later in the book. And they go beyond the simple, because he's family. So Davos bumps into Edric, or rather the other way around, and they have a lovely chat. Oh, he goes, so you're the Onion Knight. All right, I heard so much about you. And blah, blah, blah. And my dad, Robert, would have never chopped off your fingertips for such a trivial thing as smuggling. Because my dad was awesome. Can I see those fingers? Yeah, he's a smart kid, actually, this Edric. And, now that the series has introduced us to both of Robert's illegitimate offsprings, I mean, there's more, obviously, there's more out there. I think he's got like 16, according to a certain prophecy that we will learn later. We will learn about later. But there's more illegitimate offsprings out there. But that Maya, we encountered this Maya stone in the Eyrie. We encountered her in a Game of Thrones, Book 1. But okay, so now we've made our acquaintance with both male illegitimate offsprings born out of wedlock. You see, Edric Storm, in this part of the world, very much aware of who his father was, and Gendry out there traveling, with Arya Stark through the Riverlands, having no clue as who his father actually is or was. And can I just say what a weird move it was for the HBO series to do this sort of character culling, and not for the first or last time. What I mean is, when they merge two different characters into one single character. Because then, you see, in the series, the TV series, it becomes a bit awkward because they needed to have Melisandre interact with Gendry instead of Edric, who doesn't exist in the series. And so they came up with this absurdly contrived plot device of having Melly travel all the way to and encountering none other than this is probably where I should shut up, in case you haven't watched the series either. It's very difficult to keep this thing spoiler-free, but I hope you appreciate I'm doing my best. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. So anyway, so it was a borderline spoiler. Okay, just know that if you expect Edric Storm to turn up in the HBO series, you haven't decided, you haven't watched it yet, which is a possibility. Just I hope you don't get disappointed. He's not there. So anyway, that's one another of Queen Celise. Why? How on earth? Celise. I'm gonna give you the French pronunciation. Yeah, Florent. Why wouldn't it be French? Why? Florent, Celise. Yeah, Axel, Alistair. Okay, Alistair is more Scottish. Damn, so confusing. George, what are you doing to me with these names? Stannis is a Slavic name. Robert is clearly not. Eddard, yes, Edward, which is probably Germanic. Eddard, or Ned. I mean, what are you doing with these names? Renly. Okay, we don't know about these Baratheons. Forget about those. Ned Eddard's not even one of them. But yeah, the Florent are decided. The Florent are a bit kind of like French, but with pointy ears. So maybe half French, half Vulcan. Yes, Jim, I am half human. What am I talking about? Yeah. So another Florent man. Sorry, I got a bit distracted there. I digress. I digest. The This one is Axel Florent. You're not Alistair Florent, the Hand to the King, who is sort of like so as characters go. But this one here is called Axel. That's his brother, and he's a nasty piece of work. He's downright a villain in my book. It as will become apparent later. So he goes, "Hello." They all talk like that in on Dragonstone because the atmosphere is rich in helium. I will have you know. Oh, hello. Hi. Hi. What are you doing here? Oh, hi. Yes. Ah, you recognize me now, huh? Ah, there's someone who does recognize me. Me, Davos Seaworth. In fact, Lord Davos Seaworth, if you don't mind, aka the Onion Knight. And I presume you're here to escort me to the king. Huh? Is that the deal? So Axel, disappointingly, Axel goes, "No, I've come to lock you up in the dungeon, under the power invested in me by Raholor and anyone who can pronounce that name, as well as King Stanislav. I place you under arrest for plotting to murder none other than Lady Melisandre. Take him away. In fact, take that dirk, which is kind of like a dagger, away from him, because that's the very weapon he plans to use on Melisandre. Take him away." And it probably slaps him on the face as well, because it's the kind of thing that you would expect this villain to do, like slap him with a glove. Take him away. And by the way, do you see how much info he had? You know, who did he get? Who did he get all that detailed info from? This Axel guy. Was it from Salazar, who just sent him the quickest raven ever, or someone else eavesdropping on the conversation earlier on? I'm not being all coy and mysterious here. I genuinely don't remember if this ever comes up. If we ever find out who grassed him up, who ratted on Davos, the jury is still out for the time being, and well, dear listener, this is how we conclude Davos II in a storm of swords, meaning with Davos being put in a dungeon. Yeah, there you go, as you do. One of those characters who has to do time for the time being. And why? Thank you for following me this far. This is a fantastic book. I can never get tired of saying that. And thank you for your patience and interest thus far. And I look forward to, wow, this is a long chapter, to reading A Storm of Swords, Jamie 2. Ah, right, yeah, okay. It's been a while since we last read one of those Jamie's POV chapters, which will undoubtedly prove just as fun as this one. Hopefully. So stick around, have a great day, and ciao.